just tell me a little bit about Cena Lewis. You know, just a story about her, basically. What you remember, if you feel like it.
Well, she just was a prospector and been to Mexico and so forth, and had some mining claims out here. But I don't know just what else to say. I mean, she was quite a character in general, especially being, she was 68 when I first came here. Then she died in 1958, and she was almost 80.
What was her husband's name?
Oh, gee, I don't even, I think his name was George.
Was he a geologist or something?
No, he wasn't. He was a treasure hunter, but she was a kind of a geologist, interested in mining, you know. And he was a farmer is what he was, and his name, I don't really remember what his name was. She always just called him Mr. Lewis.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had some children too, didn't they?
Oh, well, they had 13. She had 13.
Now, there's a couple of them still living around
Still
here.
living, yeah. There's one in California, and Ralph lives down here, north of me.
Well, didn't she get some, like the Gonzalez stuff? Wasn't that something to do with her?
Well,
the
yeah,
Gonzalez story?
she came back with some information that she got from Gonzalez or something. And she had been interested in lost mines and things too. So she had a chance to talk to the Mexicans, but I don't know that she found anything out really of value.
Did that have anything to do with the Gonzalez map? Was she the one that had the original Gonzalez map?
Well, she saw it, I think.
And then drew a facsimile of it?
Drew a picture of it here. She remembered what she could remember of it.
When did you first meet Red Monaghan?
Well, I came here in '64 and in '46, and he came here in '47. So he was just a fellow that was interested in mining like the rest of us. And he got the Bluebird up here. And had a compressor that used to drill holes when you wanted to shoot dynamite and so forth. But that's so long ago now. He died today in '61.
He used to have that airstrip over there too, didn't he? Make that airstrip?
Yes, he made that airstrip.
And an airplane. What year was that? Do you remember what year he was doing all the flying when he had his airplane?
I think it was about '54 or something like that.
When did he first come here, did you say?
In '47.
Who did he get the Bluebird from? Or did he stake it out?
Well, no, the old man had it, and he went in as a partner.
Mm-hmm.
And then the old man died, and he bought his half from the old man's sister. Sister, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was his.
It wasn't Frazier who he bought it from, was it?
No, I don't think it was. Huh. I would know if I heard his name, but he just an old man that lived out here and staked it out.
Well, did Red open the first pop stand there at the Bluebird?
Yes.
And then who got it from Red?
The Millers.
The Millers? Yeah, that was Ruth Miller.
Ruth and Bob.
Ruth and Bob Miller. Did you know them pretty well?
Oh, yeah.
Did Bob came out here for his health, right? I used to talk to him a lot.
They came down from Seattle. I don't remember whether it was for health reasons or not. They just wanted to retire, to fool around or something. Bob was here quite a while before he died. He had cancer of the leg or something. And then the Hammockers bought it from them.
Pop Hammocker.
Yes.
And then how long, and when did Pop Hammocker die? Do you remember?
I don't remember what year it was. About 60 something.
67. Didn't Ray Reese buy it in '67?
Well, he may have, yeah. and he still got it. Yeah.
Well, that pretty well covers the history of the Bluebird, then, doesn't it? You know,
Yeah, just
through
about.
those families there. Now Alfred Lewis, Alfred Strong Lewis, now was no relation to Cena Lewis, right?
Sign it, Lord.
Or Cena Lewis, right?
Yeah. No, he wasn't related at all.
Now, who did his wife live up there by
Yeah,
Bluebird?
Beecher Lewis.
All right, Beatrice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now let's see.
I don't know if her name was Beatrice or Beecher. We always call her Beecher anyway.
Oh. All right, now what about old John Pierce? Where did he stay at and live?
He lived across from Mrs. Lewis.
Now where at?
Right up the road about eighth of a mile.
Now,
South,
which way?
South.
Oh, back towards
Yeah.
the old near the Galbraith claim.
Well, no, right at the top of the hill here that I'm on.
Oh, and they lived up there, huh?
And he had a big stone house.
Is any of it left today?
No, the forest pushed it over when he died.
Okay, you know there's a little stone house on a hill over
Yeah.
here. Do you know who that belonged to? Or?
Well, that was a lady was out here from Sweden, and Mrs. Lewis's son George built that for her.
Oh, George Lewis built
Yeah.
that stone house.
Yeah.
When do you know when they built it? Do you have any idea?
Before I got here, I don't know.
All right, before that.
See,
When you-
46.
All right,
Yeah.
when you first come here in '46, how many stone houses or little houses or cabins did you recall around here? Can you remember most of them?
Well, just that one, and John Pierce was over there, and I guess that's about all.
Did you ever come across Chuck Ayler any?
Oh yeah, when he was over there around Weaver's Beetle.
Well, he stayed over there in Needle Canyon, right? Over there, Caballo Camp.
Yeah, well not in Beetle Canyon, in the southern one.
Yeah, East Boulder.
Yeah, East Boulder.
Did you ever spend any time over there talking to him?
Not very much. I used to walk past them. And she stopped me one day and wanted to know why. And I said that I wouldn't get anything done if I'd stop and talk.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I didn't, at that time, want to know too much. But after you knew them, they were all right.
Oh yeah, after you get. Did you ever talk to Al Morrow any?
Just very occasionally, once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing something with the Bible, I don't know.
No, he's copying it.
Copying it or something. And he was a nice enough person, but I don't know, I didn't figure he knew too much.
Mm-hmm.
So, I made a point to stay away from almost everybody, but I ended up knowing them anyway.
Yeah. Well, all right, now, let's see, after you got out of the Army and you was over in San Diego, how did you get, now, tell me again how you got interested in coming to Arizona?
Well, I was trying to figure a way to go to that black hill that's supposed to be covered with gold at the bottom or something, and I went down to talk about flying there in one of these balloons, not a balloon, but a dirigible.
Mm-hmm.
And I met a man to talk to, and he said, why didn't I come over here? That there's a lot of lost mines around here and so forth. And so I did. I drove over and met Mrs. Lewis. That was really in '45.
Mm-hmm.
I just got out of the Army. So then I came back, and I wanted to get away from Los Angeles, so for a little while. And that's how the whole thing started.
How many trips do you think you made into around Blacktop when you were looking around there?
Oh goodness, I went in there a lot of times.
Who did you go with? Mostly by yourself?
Yeah, mostly alone.
You, from this site right here?
Yeah, yeah. Every time I go in, Ms. Lewis would think of something more to tell me
Mm-hmm.
about some treasure that was hidden over there.
Did you ever find anything there?
I found a flat place that they had made,
Mm-hmm.
and they had supposed to put this 100 pounds of bullion on it. But it was nothing there except a flat place with rocks around the edge.
Mm-hmm.
But there were 7 of them, 7 places the Mexicans had told her about it.
Where do you think that story comes from, that idea that there's gold around Blacktop? What do you think the source of it is? Is it the Mexicans?
Oh yeah, I think.
But
Well,
what
yes.
Mexicans?
The what Mexicans?
Yeah.
The Peraltas, I suppose. Ms. Lewis said that they told her that there was a big treasure over there, but they had never been able to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ran into Peralta, my ex-partner, and he had a map to Blacktop. So I think there is a big treasure in Blacktop, but nobody has the information on finding it.
Is this the same treasure you think Hank Harnish and all that bunch looked for? Or?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. For all I know. A lot of people hunt for it in there, I suppose. But I think it's part of a treasure they had in Mexico that they brought up here. And to this day, I think there's one there, but I don't know how you find it.
Did you ever talk to Barry Storm and all of his stuff, any?
I ran into Barry Storm, and I met him, but that's about all. I didn't really know him. So. He was mostly a promoter, and he wrote an interesting story.
Well, you know, one time you give me a letter, you know, his attorney sent
Oh,
you
yeah,
protesting your
yeah.
book. Did you ever hear much from that?
No, never heard a word.
They were going to sue you for infringing on his copyright.
Yeah. Oh, he thought he owned the whole story, I guess. I don't know.
Well, when did you write your first book?
49.
49.
That's the first 5,000.
Well, who published it for you?
In Mesa, this,
Did you have to pay them to do it?
yeah,
Or
oh yes.
what'd you do? Did somebody help you, or did you just save the money up, or what?
Mrs. Lewis helped me with the book. It gave me the information, and I wrote it. Well, I can't think of the name of the publisher even.
Lofgreen or Lane?
Lofgreen,
Yeah.
yeah. And people still want a copy of the book, and off and on, and I have one made. I copy it, and then I let them have it.
Now you had 5,000 of that first one done?
Yes, and then 5 the second.
So you printed a total of 10,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's a lot. How long did it take you to get rid of them?
Well, the first batch went pretty good, but the second batch quite a while, and it wasn't worth the effort. So, but it was a pretty good little book. I will say that.
Yeah, it was. I've read it a couple times.
And it's too bad that so much trouble to fool with them, or I would put it out again.
What about Barney Bernard?
Well, he was like Crazy Jake. He died in '62, and Crazy Jake arrived in '65, I think.
64, yeah.
Or 4. And yeah, Barney, he took that book from a man named Hyam.
Yeah.
And but these books are interesting to read. There's been a lot of them, you know. But
well, you ought to let somebody just publish the book for you. You don't have to worry about it, and just pay you some money off of it.
It's not worth it. It's not. People want to know this and that, and they write letters and keeps you busy. It's just not worth monkeying with, you know.
If you had to pick something interesting in the superstitions, you know, to do with the whole country, all the stories, what do you think is the most interesting thing?
Well, I thought the story that my ex-partner had, that his father had this map, and we were going to try to find out what it was all about, and that was kind of interesting because it was a true story. For the most part, I kind of got tired of most of it, really. But it's an area that's got a lot of stories, you know, connected to it. But after a while, you do get tired of these stories because there's very little truth to any of it.
If you had to, I guess, relive it all, or go back to the people, you got acquainted with Mrs. Lewis, that's the main person you knew in the early days.
Yes.
She's kind of the one that talked you into.
Oh yeah, she told me about the claim I'm living on, the one I have today.
Well, now you still retain the surface rights to this claim, right?
Well, they stole them. The Forest Service stole them. And that's where the government operates today. People don't know that, but it does. And yeah, well, as time goes on, one thing leads to another, and you just live your life out, of course. But I've been in this area 39 years, I think, now. So, been a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of changes.
Is there any one of these prospectors you come across that you felt there was any credibility in what they've done?
Well, some people tried to be credible, and you meet a few, just like you meet a few people that are credible, among the many that are not. But everybody's got a worry or bothered to just make out. And some people pick one type of life and others another, I suppose.
What about your old friend Milton Rose?
Well,
did he ever come out here and visit you?
Oh yes. I liked Milton, but Milton was confused and mixed up a little bit. He said there was nothing in Goldfield, and when I told him about a mine up there that they found, he quit writing to me.
He lost interest, huh?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, but I'm sorry to see that he passed away too. But yeah, I think maybe Milton would have been all right when he was younger. He was pretty old, and so forth. But I don't run into very many real interesting people. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, huh?
Not to be mean, I mean, that's just the way it is.
Where were you born, Doc?
Well, I was born in the state of Washington, but we moved to California and then went east.
Where were you actually? What town in Washington?
Blacktop.
Blacktop?
It's just south of Spokane. And my dad was a doctor, so they weren't paying him, so he decided to get a job with the government. And he got a job on an Indian reservation in Hoopa, California. And then he went east and took another course in the University of Pennsylvania, and then got with the government. So we started out at Fort McHenry, that's in Baltimore. Then Chicago, Memphis. Then I left and went to Los Angeles, and he retired in Jackson, Mississippi.
He was a military doctor?
Yes, a veteran doctor.
Veteran, but he wasn't in the Army or anything.
Well, he was in the First World War, and then the Second too.
Oh, what was he in the Second World War?
Well, he was a major, but he was a major in the first one too.
He's a doctor, though.
Doctor, yeah.
What year did he pass away?
In '68. At 86.
Wow.
So he lived a while, yeah.
Now you have two sisters, right?
Yes, two sisters.
And that's Cora?
And Edna.
And what?
Edna.
Edna? I have an aunt named Edna.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, she lives up in Washington.
Oh. My sister's a widow now. My brother-in-law died the 2nd of October.
And where does your sisters live?
At Lincoln, Nebraska.
Both of them?
Yes.
What have they thought of all the years you spent here in Arizona?
Well, they knew what I was doing and they approved of it and everything, but I've just been very unusually unlucky. Because I've got a good property, and if something happens to anybody that leases it, loses their reasoning or something.
Are your sisters younger than you or older?
One's 3 years younger, and one's 18 months older. So I'm in the middle.
Are they going to come out again, or?
They're going to be here. They're going to come out in a little short time, they said. Thought they would for a visit, short visit. Yeah, my father thought I was doing all right, too, to have this possibility of a mine. But I have gold and I have the rock formation and everything, but I don't know, I can't get things going.
Well, when did you first start digging on this claim? Let's talk about this claim a little bit. What's the name of it?
Oh, Lazy Dog.
And when did you first stake it?
In about 64.
You first staked?
46.
46.
Yeah.
Right, and then when did you first start digging on it or developing
well,
it?
about right away. Because we found gold. Ms. Lewis and I came over and we found the gold and all, and you stake them out. And, at that time, we had special laws and everything, which they changed later. And that's why I say they stole my surface rights, which I had. And I still have a good claim, but I have it leased. But the leasees don't seem to do much.
What is the basic geology here, the types of rocks?
Oh, you better ask John about that. I don't go into that baloney much.
But I mean the basic
well,
rocks
they're
dacite, I mean not dacite, but andesite.
Yes, and
granite.
Granite,
Granite.
Pre-cranial granite.
You have a good slick and slide here, don't you?
Yeah, I do. A slick and slide, yes. And it's what do you call volcanic? It's volcanic.
Yeah, igneous rocks.
Igneous, and it's got good formation, rock formation. And I've got it all perfect, and really I have gold, so I should be digging on it, but they're not doing anything. So,
what are some of the interesting people who stayed here on this claim that you've known over the years?
oh
You know,
gosh.
you've had a few here. Maybe we can mention a few, just for historical purposes.
Well, I had one man was here a few days. He was a white Russian. Came from Russia, and he was a mining engineer. And then I had a friend of mine from Los Angeles was a doodle bugger. He's come visit me a lot.
What was his name?
Burnt.
And what was the Russian's name?
I can't remember his name now. He ended in S-K-Y, too. Yeah, Valatsky or something. And, oh yes, I meet a lot of people, but doctors and Cap, you know, he's been over, the captain, the tennis pro.
What's his name?
Gee, I can't think of his name even right now. I know his name.
Did you ever know Art Dallas?
Yes.
Art was a partner of Clay Worth's, right?
Art Dallas was a partner of
Clay Worth's.
I didn't know that.
Oh, well, they had a claim together over by Bluff Springs Mountain.
Oh, did they?
Not now, not Art Adair now. I'm talking about Art Dallas.
D-A-L-I-S.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know him.
That was a long time ago, though, right?
Well, I haven't seen him of late. He worked for the electric company. Is that the same one?
Salt River Project?
Yeah. Yeah, nice fella.
Yeah, he's been coming out here since the 40s.
Oh yeah, off and on, yes.
Yeah.
But he lives over in Tempe, so I don't see him very often. I have his address.
Yeah,
Clint is the name of the tennis pro.
Who?
Clint, C-L-I-N-T.
Mm-hmm.
Can't think of his last name now.
Well, of course, Bob Corbin's been here before.
Oh yeah, that's right. What is he now? The
Attorney General?
Attorney General. Yes, Corbin, Robert Corbin. And
Earl Shoebridger.
Earl Shoebridge, yeah.
What is he? Now he goes by John Dark. You never knew him by John Dark, did you?
No, I know he goes by different names.
Yeah, Hideaway, Lane, I've heard.
Yeah, Lane, that's
Yeah.
right. And, oh, I have met a lot of people, sure, but through the years, my goodness, 39 years is a long time.
Yeah,
Really.
I don't remember the first time I met you.
No.
Been a long time.
Yeah. I remember you from the junction, though, down there when they had certain people had the bar. Who was it that had it?
Oh, Chick Jones?
Chick Jones. And,
Oh, yeah. That's going back into the 50s.
yeah. Ed Woodland, I've known him, too. He's been out
Yeah.
here.
Well, I used to run in the Burro Derby. You know,
Burro.
for Chick Jones. I worked up there at the ranch and ran in the Burro Derby.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You did come down there. Right?
Grady Haskins has been out here, yeah.
Grady mentioned that I come by and talk to him.
Did he mention this?
No, to you.
Not that, well, I don't know. Not at the time, I don't guess. This is the years ago.
Where's Grady staying at now? Do you know?
I really don't know.
He moved from Hub's place when they sold it.
Did they sell Hub?
Yeah.
Hubs?
Hub's a guy by the name of Shootsy bought Hub out.
Oh.
Yeah, they're building a restaurant down there on the hill.
Oh, down here at Schofield.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know he moved from there. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Is Grady still staying with him somewhere?
Well, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
why I say he was over someplace else. I don't know. But anyway, so, you know, it's pretty hard to find a place to live anymore.
It is.
It's not like it used to be.
Oh.
I'm lucky I have this place.
Yeah, we probably are. All of us are lucky to have something to live with anymore.
Yeah. Well, you figure the way everything's been going.
Well, let's see. What is today? I'm trying to date
22nd of December,
this. It's December 22nd,
1985.
1985. And we
Yeah.
did this about 8 years ago. Remember we taped that here?
Yeah,
That'd been about 8 years
yeah,
ago.
I guess we did. Yes.
77, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd been about 8 years ago. And we sat out here. Remember we did the one of the cabin and all the stuff?
Well, yeah. When I had the cabin,
Yeah.
the old shack.
Yeah.
But
Well.
Gold Canyon came out and got the old shack.
Yeah.
Took it away. Yeah. I tell people about that now when I write them a little note for Christmas.
Yeah. Well, this is the old shack. Well, I'll tell you what, we sat around in it many, many, many times.
Oh, that old shack could talk, boy.
See, we've been celebrating our birthdays for how long now?
Oh, about 5 years.
Yeah, at least
I guess.
5.
Yeah.
Since 80, I'm sure.
Yes. Well, I'm 71 now. I forget how old I was when we first started. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe it was a little longer than that. Maybe
Well, maybe it
79.
was more.
Seems like to me the first one we celebrated, you were 64, 3 or 4.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because our birthday is what, same day, isn't it? July
Yeah.
9th.
July 9th.
And you were born what year?
1914.
Right, and I was born 1937.
37. My goodness. My mother died in 38. Yeah.
Well, how time sure gets away, don't it, Doc?
Yes. Yeah, it does. And,
Well, I was out here, I know, one time in 70, no, it was longer than that. First time I remember coming out here, I remember I had my red Jeep. I had another red Jeep. And I got rid of that Jeep in 69.
Oh.
So it's been a long time. It must have been the 63 or 4 first time I come out here. With a Jeep anyway, I don't know. At least that.
Yeah. Well, time goes so fast that you don't know anymore.
Well, when did John stay here? Earl.
John?
Yeah, what year? And John, you know,
Well, John was 1970, I think.
Shoebridger, was it 70?
Oh, I don't know, but Shoebridge was after John, wasn't it? I mean, after John,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I used to bring it. You remember I had a Jeep when I used to come out here?
Yeah, I do.
I had that red Jeep.
Yeah.
And that had, see, I got rid of it
Yeah,
in 68 or 9.
yeah.
So it's been in the
Sure,
60s.
you told me I'd forgotten about it, though. Yeah, sure.
That's
Well-
when Sharon and I and the kids were real little. You know, they were just babies.
Yeah, they were. That's right.
Yeah, and Colton's 23 now.
I see. Yeah.
And Shaylin's 21. So I know it's been 20 years. Almost.
Yeah, so time does go by, see, so I know that, and it's a shame that,
Well, Shaylin, I got a picture of Shaylin standing in the door of your shack.
oh,
You know, the old shack.
Yeah.
And she's only 4 years old.
oh, you know,
So I know it was at least that far back.
yeah. Yeah, well, it's been a long time, I don't know. Seems like, you expect so much from the future, but it never arrives.
Well, that's true. Well, Doc, I think I'll stop this because my battery's going to run out pretty quick.
All right, okay.
I think we got to